Hello, everybody. Welcome to another amazing, wonderful, fantastic webinar. Let's get through some practice questions today. And remember, whether you're watching live or on recording, please hit that like button, hit subscribe. Really does help us out over at the Pass Buddy team. And also remember this, if you haven't already, head on over to passbuddy.com. That's where we have all of our practice questions, tests, tips, tricks to help you pass your real estate exam. That's where, again, if you haven't already joined our community, please head over and do so now because that's going to help us out. Also, it's going to help you pass your exam. And let's look at this question that we have here. It says appurtenances, thank you, brain, include all the following except property rights, mortgages, privileges, or improvements. Appurtenances. Okay. So, what does it mean to have an appurtenance or that something is appurtenant? What does it mean to have something be appurtenant? Well, what appurtenant means is it is running with the property. Okay? So it goes with it. So do property rights, do privileges and improvements run with the property? Yeah, absolutely 1,000.5%. But what doesn't run with the property? That's going to be a mortgage, right? Because a mortgage, now here's the thing, it could go with the property. You could assume it, okay? It's not saying it's impossible, but just having a mortgage does not mean that it's going to stay with the property and that's it. It's attached to it forever, okay? But all the other things we could argue are things that are going to be running with said property. So again, remember if you're here with us live on any of our platforms, feel free to type in any chats, any questions, concerns, burning desires that you might have. Also, too, I want to remind everyone, head on over to our TikTok channel. We have shorts that we post there and videos we post there live every day. So you're going to get a chance to see. Actually, we just had one go live, I think, like 2 or 3 minutes ago. So that's why our computer took a little bit to start up and fire up for the live because I think we were posting a TikTok at the same time we were trying to hit the live button for all you. So that being said, that's the situation here. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the next question, shall we? So, a freehold estate refers to an estate of an indefinite duration, a qualified fee estate, a leasehold estate, or an ownership for the lifetime only. So, when we're talking about freehold estates, okay, and think of that as the general category, okay, what happens is this: there are a couple different characteristics that I would say are going to be in line with um what was I going to say? Um a freehold estate. Okay? Thank you. Um and when we're talking about freehold estates, a couple things that we could say is, okay, number 1, a freehold estate is ownership, okay? Um, a freehold estate is ownership, but also, a freehold estate is going to be of an indefinite duration. We don't know when it's going to end. Okay, we don't know when that ownership is going to end. Okay, now in something like a qualified fee estate or a life estate, it does have a time or a condition under which it will end, right? It does have a condition under which it will end, which is a qualified fee if the condition is broken, right? And then in a life estate, if the person whose life it's based on passes away, right? But do we know a defined time when said things are going to occur? No, we don't know that. Now, here's the other thing too. So you might say a freehold estate refers to a qualified fee or an ownership for the lifetime of someone. Here's what happens. Those are types of freehold estates. So that wouldn't be the best answer to the question you're being asked, right? The question you're being asked is, a freehold estate, the general category itself, right? So that would be like me saying to you, an animal that lives, under the sea. Tell me, like, what is an animal that lives under the sea? A whale or a crab would be types of animals that live under the sea. But if you said, just explain to me what you mean by an animal that lives under the sea, be like, well, these are things that are not land based animals typically. Some examples of them would be a whale, a crab, a goldfish, right? Those are all examples, right? But it's not saying that everyone is like that. Just like in a freehold estate, we want to know and get an understanding of that general term and not necessarily the specificity. Because if qualified fee estate versus a life estate, they're very different. They're very different, just like a whale and a crab are very different, right? They are types of animals that live under the sea, but they are not the definition of it, right? Like when we're talking about just the category, and I think that's something you have to understand too. Like another example would be like, tell me about a dessert, right? And someone said, well, cupcakes. Yes, cupcakes are desserts, but so are apple pies, and they're different things, right? So I think that's what you have to understand when it comes to freehold estates there. So let's keep it moving. Let's keep it grooving, shall we? This one says the best description of a life estate is ownership that's based on a 99-year lease, ownership that is based on someone's lifetime, ownership that is granted to last indefinitely, or ownership that lasts for the economic life of a structure. What say you? What say you in the chat for those who are here live with me? So, a life estate, okay? If we were talking about just life estates, right? Just life estates. What we would be talking about is this. We would be referring to ownership that is based on the life of someone or something. So now what I want to do is this, right? I want to let you have some time back in your day. And I want to make sure that you also head on over to our TikTok channel. That's where we go over, we have a lot of things that are going over one question, two questions. Also, sign up for Pass Buddy. You can take these tests by yourself and you can get access to more of these webinars. So guess what? You have a whole list here of recorded webinars when you join our community that I've done for you that you could just basically sit there, search for whatever category you're struggling in, and we can help you pass your real estate exam this year. So everyone, listen, have a great, wonderful, fantastic rest of your day. I will see you all real soon.